Okay, so we can catch him later. Good morning, everyone. Those of you who are reporting in late, it's $1 fine. I think you think we're in a rec hall today. Yes. What do I hit that for that? I need your help with that. There we go. Thank you. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Let's all get settled in. I'm sorry. Sure sounds good up here. I don't know what to do about that. What would you have me say? I don't know. It's sounding fine right through that. Yeah. Can you hear me back there? I don't know either. It's one of those Sunday mornings. I know nothing. Yes. Welcome back to the Positive Living Center. Still having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're getting it ironed out each and every week since we've come back. It's good to see so many of you today. If we have any newcomers this morning, I welcome you as well. And those, of course, with us on Zoom this morning, as you can see, they are watching us as well and joining us. Today is our Healing Circle service. We'll get to that later in the service. It's always wonderful. Year 2022 has been deemed the year of creating healthy lifestyles. That is definitely for me. I think it's for you as well. Our topics are physical, mental, and spiritual health. And our themes for the month of February is balance, healthy emotions, and wholeness. I wanted to share something with you real quick. I just read this the other day from a friend, and I thought I would share it with you. It says, whatever you do today, do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old kid in a Batman t-shirt. I got to get a Batman t-shirt, maybe a cape. Isn't that great? Reminds us to be the kids that we are. It's wonderful. First of all, we go into meditation. Put our feet on this beautiful earth. Get settled in. Relax. Let everything go. And just be here, present. We'll listen to Patty play for a little. Thank you. God is pure love. And so are we. God creates within us. Wherever we go, God is. Whatever it is that we want, all we need to do ask for it. And it is ours. I'm so blessed to have this time together this morning to relax, to enjoy each other's company. God, I give you so much thanks for so many things in my life, in the lives of these people and before me here, in the lives of all people and all things. We're so blessed to be on this planet. I give great thanks, and so it is. Wow, thank you, Patty. That was beautiful. Thank you. Well, it's time for our spiritual thought. I want to bring up Reverend Ken Hayes. Good morning, Kim.
I need that little stand. Yeah, well, I think so. I don't know. Can you see me now? Yay. And you can hear me okay? Everyone can hear me okay? Great. Now, I have this thing. It says, magic is about to happen. Where's that camera? Back off. It looks backwards to me. But anyway, this is the sign that I keep up around my house. And it makes me feel good to have it there. Because I think magic is always happening and we forget. I forget. I'd like to say good morning to my positive living radiators. That's radiant ones. I'm so happy to see you all this morning. And as Joe said, creating a healthy lifestyle is the theme for this year. But here's what's going to happen this morning. What happened is wasn't able to give this talk in January. So I went back in time. I went back like this, and I'm going to talk about the physical strength, physical health, which was strength, the mental health, which is confidence, and the spiritual health, which is faith. So you travel back. This is how you do it. I would be careful doing it at home alone, but you go back like this. And as time is such a fluid and kind of a bendy thing, that's scientific talk, in case you were wondering. And just as Bob Hand last Sunday, he went forward to June. I'm going back to January. Somewhere there's balance in there. Somewhere. And I think it was LJ that started the whole thing. Sorry. We talked about time and time moving and being fluid, I think. So I'm visiting the past. And it's so cool that we can do this. And I was younger then too by a few weeks. So that's another point in favor of going into the past, or not that far, going travel backwards. One of the biggest things I will say now in my defense is that I take things too seriously. And of course, there are things that require some serious attention. Although at this moment, I'd like to say I can't think of one of them. So, okay, I think I have one. I just had a birthday. And it was my penultimate 69th birthday. And when I said that to my housemate, Michael, he said, it sounds like you're going to die next year. I said, no. This is the penultimate. It's the end of a decade, the 60s. It's my last year in the 60s. And then I'll be going into the 70s. So it's the penultimate year for that. And if I try to flip that number like this, it still looks like 69. So I'm stuck with it. And I found a way to be okay with that. And I take solace, actually, in the words of David Bowie. He said, I think aging is an extraordinary process whereby you become the person you always should have been. And I like that. And in response to this, Stephen Forrest, astrologer, concludes and believes that aligning himself with free-thinking people, and that helps him draw strength and support and encouragement. And I happen to agree. So as I backtrack in time, this is what came up for me. I was remembering, and I might interject here that memory can be a faulty trickster, but in the early years of my life, I was a skinny, bony, sickly child, given to bouts of constipation, colds, and restless sleep. I couldn't concentrate on subjects at school, and I was unable to sit still for any long period of time. I just was a chronic clock watcher, and I only wished for the end of the school day so I could go home. And I felt that I wasn't really good at anything. And as I said, I was a very physically restless person. I did, however, have a questioning mind. And I frequently would ask myself, who am I? Who am I? And I did this from a very, very early age. And I was raised and received instruction from the Catholic Church, which got me only so far in understanding my child's innocent mind. As Jill was talking about earlier, the innocence of child, that play, of being present in the moment. I had questions, and I questioned some priests who were not too forthcoming or accepting of my questions. And it wasn't their fault. I might have said some crazy things, which I do. However, I did also find a priest or two, and who were very ready, and they were very willing to discuss some of my burning questions. And I also had a couple of wonderful teachers, really wonderful teachers. Sister Albertine, I think she was my grade 7 teacher in Seattle, Washington. And Mrs. Hummel, who was my English teacher in grade 10. And both of them were very dear to me and really encouraged me to grow. And they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. They were very supportive people. And that felt great. That felt great. I used to enjoy staying after class and talking to them about a lot of different things. I got excited about the subjects that we were studying. Things started to change. And they were very valuable to me. And I'm grateful. And actually, I'm grateful for the entire experience of my childhood, the challenging, dynamic ones, and the softer, more supportive interactions. I'm grateful for all of that. Every experience has helped me to grow and become a more centered, well, if it's not the right word, then more self-accepting, a work in progress. Physical strength is something that grew in me as I took on challenges in the realm of track and field. And camaraderie also grew with other kids who were also in track and field. And I found acceptance there and friends. And, sometimes we even won a first place ribbon or two along the way, and a feeling of accomplishment. I grew up in a let's triple underline this, very athletic household. My dad was a professional hockey player, and he put huge emphasis on physical activity and movement. I wanted to please him, and even in my early days of frailness, in the beginning was a handicap, I challenged myself and found a lot of good things happened. A wonderful coach appeared for the 7th grade girls athletic, jogging and track and field team. And my body began to change and grow stronger and speedier. I grew in body awareness, learning the left side from the right side. I was able to feel it in my body. My mother also sent me to dance school, and I found some grace for my awkward movements. I still have the klutz hanging around when I get out of whack by rushing everywhere. And I used to fall up the stairs. That's correct. I fell up the stairs because I was always in a rush. And I would be shouting things at my mother, I've got to get this, and I got to go to my bedroom, and I got to get, and I would say all that, and I would fall up the stairs, and she found this rather humorous. And she probably wondered if those dance lessons were paying off at all. So she found all of that, but she kept them up. And the point is, I thought I was a lost cause, a weakling, and through faith, I became encouraged and supported, and the right people start showing up when that happens. And I began to look at myself and up at myself in a new way. And I used some of the God-given talents we're all afforded and privileged to get. And as I said, I felt better about myself. I was operating on a healthier level. And I know that if I show up and even feel a little terrified, or a lot terrified, I remember that I was helped and lifted and encouraged and will always be supported from the helpful voice that I continue to hear grow stronger from within. And as an aside here about encouragement, this is from Brene Brown. It's from her book. The root of the word courage is cor, C-O-R. The Latin word for the heart is one of its easiest forms, and the word courage has a very different definition than it does today. Courage originally meant to speak one's mind and telling all one's heart. And I believe Reverend LJ mentioned the meaning of cor too. It's Latin, originated in Latin. And says, over time, she goes on to say, over time, its definition has changed. And today, courage is more synonymous with being heroic. And heroic is important, and we certainly need heroes. But I think we've lost touch with the idea that speaking honestly and openly about who we are, about what we're feeling, and about our experiences, difficult or not, is the definition of courage. Now, heroics is often about putting our life on the line, and ordinary courage is about putting our vulnerability on the line. And in today's world, that's pretty extraordinary. Through all of these gateways, the body, the mind, or the spirit, we grow in conscious awareness, and they nurture each other. Anything is possible through faith, and confidence comes when you believe and you show up to do things. One step at a time, in the spirit of kindness and patience, especially to yourself, especially to yourself. And know that the divine spark of your souls continue to support you and want only your highest good. And this energy of love resides in your heart, your body, your mind, and your spirit. Then the past is right here in the present. Be well, my spiritual radiators, and have a great week. Thank you for listening. I take the papers again. All right. A lot of papers over there. Oh,
Thank you.
oh, look, I'm gonna take a lot of them. Okay. So
Thank you, Reverend King.
now just-
Oh. I'm ready for some music. Are you? Patty, are you ready for some music?
This song. It's always amazing how we get together and it's like we're reading each other's mind. This song is called The Cake. Good job.
Thank you.
Late years old with socks and feet tied all around his neck. Climbing up on the grass. Screwed his courage up sometimes. Almost every day on the line. Bless his heart. He headed for the ground. But his one knows, life is just one thing. Spread your arms all breath, and only his trust you keep. All grown up with socks and feet tied all around his dreams. Love the place and bitter. Busting in the half sea. He hit his finger ready to the wind. Gonna be you gonna die. He wasn't scared of nothing, boys. It was pretty sure he would fly. But his one knows life is just a faith. Spread your arms, hold breath, and always trust you can. Only with thousand feet tied all around his head. Still jumping off the garage, looking into his dead. All these years, people said exactly like he did. Did not know he could not fly, and so he did. There's one knows life is just a thing.
Thank you, Patty. Always trust your cape. I love it. Thank you. Ah. It's time for our main speaker this morning, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Brenda Negley. Good morning, Brenda.
No, because I was just gonna move this. Yeah. Good morning, good morning. I am delighted today to be here and to discuss healthy emotions. One of the 3 topics presented to the speakers for this month is mental health that relates to emotional healing. Mental health is how we think, feel, and act. It also helps to decide how we relate to others, handle stress, and make choices. Mental health is how we process information, store it in memory, and how we understand that information. Our emotional health is your awareness of your emotions and the ability to accept, manage, and express them in an appropriate way. A person with good emotional health can deal with challenges and problems without being overwhelmed or frustrated, express feelings in a healthy way, and avoid dwelling on negative thoughts. So when the mental health and the emotional health can communicate, it's right there, with understanding, then you are experiencing healthy emotions. So I will be sharing with you part of my personal story today on how I worked on past trauma and greatly improved my mental health, and emotional health to create that healthy emotion. And how new thought helped me to overcome challenges to be happy, fulfilled, and optimistic. So, this is my personal story regarding my struggles with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, over the decades. It wasn't unusual to continually, for me, experience hypervigilance, nightmares, insomnia, intrusive thoughts, memory loss, difficulty concentrating, flashbacks, and most importantly, not knowing who to trust. So this led to feelings of depression that at times created doubts of my self-worth. During moments when I would feel overwhelmed or controlled, I would experience times when I felt like I could barely breathe. Sometimes it was almost like I was forgetting how to breathe. So my early emotional health as a child was a roller coaster. And to this day, I have hardly any memory before 10 years old. I experienced a traumatic event while in the Army, and then later in a marriage that tore me down. I cried easily, I felt misunderstood, and had a tough time feeling safe. I struggled, excuse me, I struggled with using my voice and often felt like an island alone. And many times I felt completely broken. On the other hand, the upside, I was also successful in other parts of my life, and I didn't quit on my goals. I was the top graduate in an anti-terrorism driving course in the Army and the only woman. I was the outstanding student teacher of the year when I completed my special education and earth science degree from the University of Texas at Austin. I was a teacher working with at-risk kids for about 16 years, and I rocked it. I was always there for my two children, who are now thriving adults in college. In 2012, I was the volunteer campground host of the year for the region, locally, and the nation. I am an author of an extensive book about the history of Nelder Grove of giant sequoias. And I'm the executive director for the Friends of Nelder Grove Incorporated nonprofit. I now work as a certified sound therapy practitioner, practitioner in my studio, Yosemite Vibrations. And my new business, the Tree Witness, will take off in the spring. So when I look back on things now, I am astounded as to what I accomplished. It took me a while to realize how strong, amazing, talented, and capable I was and continue to be. So in the past, I was told that PTSD could not be overcome entirely. And now I do not believe that to be true. By continuing on my journey for personal enlightenment, I have learned coping skills. I got an amazing service dog through the Canine Companions military PTSD program. His name is Andy. And I met with a veteran administration VA counselor to go through cognitive processing therapy, to understand better my reactions and to understand how to better handle symptoms. I also met with a counselor to learn even more coping skills because I was on a mission to better myself every day. However, and this is where I hope Angela can hear me, what made the most profound and positive experience for me to go beyond what my previous expectations were for my own healing work was when the universe placed Angelo Pizzello in my path. It is quite fitting that the word angel is in his name. For those of you familiar with the previous location of the Positive Living Center on Golden Oak Drive near the nursery, That is where I met Angelo. I was the community day school teacher at Bass Lake School District, and my classroom was in the same building as PLC on the lower level opposite from the Children's Museum. The Emerson offices were at the top of that building. One of those offices was directly above my classroom, and unbeknownst to me, Angelo could hear me interacting with my students. At some point, he came down and he kindly shared with me his admiration of how I worked with my students and also donated to the classroom over the years. He told me about Emerson Institute and explained to me that the school district would accept credits for classes that I took and I could work on my master's degree. I felt it was just the thing I needed. This began my journey with New Thought concepts and opened a door to a life of abundance. This is when I met Judy DeRosa, Maggie Bell, Bob Han, and Barney, to name a few. Judy and I later graduated with our Master's of Religious Studies together in 2004. I later joined Judy DeRosa's Creativity Women's Circle, where I learned more about meditation, energetics, building of tools, divination, the importance of ceremony, and having women get together to support one another. In 2021, I was able to get my doctorate and ministerial license through Emerson Institute. Now, New Thought spoke to me. The teachings of New Thought contributed to greatly improving my challenges with complex PTSD. And I know that my reactions to those symptoms will sometime very soon be just a memory. Examples of what helped: the prayer treatments, introducing holistic health healing tools, spiritual toolkits that bridge the gap, understanding the positive thoughts, manifestation, universal laws, and having the knowledge that source is in, through, around, and for us. Especially one of Emerson's quotes reached out to me, and it said, "Our mind and spirit is our echo of the eternal thing itself. And the sooner we discover this fact, the sooner we shall be made free and happy." Free and happy. That was my goal. Free of fear, free to be in control, free of PTSD, and free to be my real self. The happy easily followed. So part of the happy and free as a part of me has helped to drastically improve that. I am now in the light and feel like skipping and dancing almost every day. The free and happy is now a mantra of mine. It reminds me of growth and the fact that I am in control. The spirit is working for me and through me. So I have been able to successfully combine the mental health and the emotional health to bring about that healthy emotion status. And it's a good feeling indeed. So now what I want to do is share with you some of the studies and tools I have used that have helped me with personal improvement to bring understanding, happiness, awareness, and peace. It's my desire that some of them may inspire you as well. So the first book I was introduced to in my studies, and I know many of you are familiar with this book, it's The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it was my first book when I started on my master's. And this book has had a lasting effect on me without exaggerating. It has changed my life. As a reminder for those of you who are familiar, and for those of you who have not had a chance to read it, I will briefly discuss the four agreements. They are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. So the first one, be impeccable with your word. It resonated with me. And one of the descriptions of this agreement is to avoid using the word to speak against yourself and use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. So I was aware of the word, and for me, positive self-talk, that was something that even in my classroom, if the phrase "I can't" was expressed, we would bring it to attention in the classroom and we would rephrase it in a positive way. So Reese continues with more wisdom on this rule. Your word is the power that you have to create. And through the word, you express your creative power and manifest everything. Isn't that the truth? So manifesting wasn't something I understood before. I was aware of the term, but not on the level that I do now. So I am an honest person. And though in the past I felt fearful to express myself impeccably, feeling I would be misunderstood, or I may get in trouble sharing my truth. In time, I had realized my voice had been suppressed over decades. Once I understood that not expressing my true feelings fully, I was also not being impeccable with my word or my words. And most importantly, it was not helping with emotional health. So when I did not speak up to use my voice in situations where it was appropriate. So Marie says the word is not just a sound or a written symbol. The word is a force. It is the power you have to express and communicate, to think, and thereby to create the events in your life. Thankfully, I am using my voice more and more with amazing results. Feels good to be able to do that, right? So the second agreement, don't take anything personally. As Louise explains, nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Early in life and later in life, I had certain individuals tell me I was stupid. It can be hard to hear. It can be painful. At times, I believed it. Things had also been blamed on me, things I had absolutely zero control over and had nothing to do with me. Internally, I knew that, but had still taken it to heart. Learning to release that hurt, pain, and disappointment and what others may think of me took some time to get over. At times, I may get briefly drawn back into that old paradigm, yet compared to the past, it's minimal. I have learned skills and have the understanding that their agreement is not mine. The third agreement, don't make assumptions. Ruiz says, the problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We also make assumptions about what others are doing and thinking. This can create a lot of emotional poison. It is always better to ask questions. So I end this agreement with the knowledge that the day you stop making assumptions, use your voice when appropriate and necessary, then your words become impeccable. The fourth agreement, always do your best. Ruiz states, under any circumstance, always do your best, no more and no less. But keep in mind, your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive and changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be higher quality, and other times it will not be as good. When Ruiz talks about doing your best, that does not mean you must work all the time. You're not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. Part of doing your best includes being available for yourself. We were born to be happy and to love, Be good to yourself, your family, and community, to everything. It is the action that is going to make you feel intensely happy. When you always do your best, you take action. That action of doing your best is when you know that you do not have to suffer from guilt, blame, and there are no regrets. So that's the recap of the 4 agreements that made such an impact on me. I even developed a classroom course for my students and repeated the course up to my last year of teaching. In my new thought growth, I also worked on what words I used and what their impacts were. It is important to be cognizant that the positive and negative words put out energy. The outcome is why it is important to examine how we speak to ourselves and everyone in the world. Positive words reinforce the energetics around us. The negative words keep us in a lower vibration that restricts thinking and tears down our positive outcomes. Earlier, I mentioned times I felt broken. A quote by Horatio Jones helped with my healing work to rephrase the negative energy of the word broken. Instead of saying, I'm damaged, I'm broken, I have trust issues, say instead, I'm healing, I'm rediscovering myself, I'm starting over. Words have power, so focusing on moving away from words that block positive energy, it helps to be familiar with some of them. Here's some of the negative words. Should. I'll try. I can't. I have to. I've got a problem. For example, I can't. I can't let go of the pain. That statement simply blocks your abilities. Consider rephrasing that to, I can heal and be pain-free. Another example is, I should. This was the hardest one for me to break. Occasionally it pops up, but I recognize it and try to rephrase it right away. So I should take better care of myself. A positive way to change that comment is, I am taking care of myself by making healthy choices. So another thing that has contributed to my mental and emotional health is the ability to draw happiness to me. We are all able to do this. Here are some examples of what worked for me. Volunteering for groups that make a difference. Currently, that's my nonprofit for Friends of Nelder Grove. Volunteering my time on the board for the Sierra Vista Scenic Byway. Helping clear trails for a variety of local groups in the mountain area, and volunteering at PLC. I laugh at myself, even when things don't work out the way I expected. Meditation and grounding activities are beneficial to my overall health. And my property. I made my property work for me by creating a magical wonderland. For me, it's almost like Disneyland. Here are some examples. I built a large 800-foot labyrinth, placed a door in the middle of the path outside with 4 peepholes. As you leave today, if you look to the right, the property right next to us, you'll see a yellow door standing in the middle of the path by itself. Those peepholes in that door I use for perspectives and to use for a doorway if I go out for a walking meditation, and so much more. I've added a guardian dragon to the top of my shop to watch over the property. I had stairs built to access the top of the shop so I could watch the clouds or the stars at night. That brings me much joy. I have named many of the trees on the property that I enjoy greeting when I am near them. Also, a medicine wheel was created and a garden area that now supplies fresh vegetables that feed many of our neighbors here. I am grateful for my elementals and for Judy DeRosa, who has contributed many of the bells, chimes, and colorful and playful pieces that surround my property. My emotional health improved drastically when I surrounded myself with supportive and thoughtful friends. And wherever I go, I have an intention to always bring my sunshine and be the change I want to see. So another important thing to discuss today is that it is not when, it is how we get to that sense of place within ourselves, that the journey brings us to a moment in time of our own balance and understanding. We can always look back at our process, but we are also looking at the fact that we are still gathering more information. We do not stop doing that. That is how we know we are doing the work. So in essence, we are always growing. So 3 weeks ago, Reverend Judy showed me a slip of paper from a Chinese fortune cookie that I feel is perfect to end this talk. The reward for having feelings is great joy. And so it is.
You got all your stuff? Oh, Reverend Brenda, thank you so much. What a life you have led so far. So far in your journey, you have a long way to go yet, just like all the rest of us. And somehow, through all that journey, I think God was right in the middle of that, right in the middle of that for you. And I think that 4-year-old kid with the Batman t-shirt was right there with you and still there today too. I love the child in us and I love the God in us. It was fabulous. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Oh, it's time for our healing circle to begin. I'll ask Reverend Sandy West to lead us in that. Good morning, Sandy.
I can do it this way. Okay, I'll do it this way because then I feel more grounded. Okay. Good morning. If you weren't here the last month, we're doing the healing circle a little bit different. We're staying in our places. And what we're doing is in our minds of healing. So if you'll follow me, please, and just close your eyes and relax. Do you want to leave us off? And just breathe in and out. In and out. Slowing your mind down. Slowing your body down. Slowing down. We have all the time we need. Oh, feel it. Feel yourself settling down. And pay attention to your heart. Feel your heart expanding, opening, loving. And feel the love going out all around this building and property. Touching everyone here, every tree, every blade of grass. As the allness of God incarnate here is coming forth. In this beautiful, beautiful experience. I ask you each to say in your mind and out of your heart what it is you feel like healing today. What do you want to let go of? What would you like to replace it with? Allowing yourself, first of all, freedom of choice, but also freedom of release. This freedom is one of our most important giftings It becomes easier and easier each time we do it. Allowing all those things that aren't working for us anymore, that no longer support our spiritual and evolutionary path. All of those things release to go find their own healing, to go find their own levels, to go and be what they need to be, where they need to be it. For everything has choice. In this moment, make the choice to live to the fullest you possibly can. I choose to live. I choose to live. Feel the joy building. I choose to live. What a beautiful divine statement. To live to my highest potential. To live and be everything I can be. To manifest all of the wonderful giftings of source that support me. No matter what it is. No matter what we feel needs healing, release it. Release it. Know the truth of our beings. Know the truth of the perfect health, perfect finances, perfect money, all of it. All of it. Growing and evolving as we grow and evolve. We're going to take a few moments in the silence as this settles deeply into your body, down to every cell, down to the nucleus of every cell. Allow this gifting to yourself. Now start to come back into awareness. Allow any part of you that has reached higher to slowly come back down through the dimensions in the worlds. Back down into this building, into your bodies. Anchoring through your feet into the earth and down to Earth's core. What a gift. Take a moment and give such beloved gratitude and thanks to the all. We are better people, better souls, better entities, better beings, whatever words you want to use. Because of this gifting, we have enhanced all there is, opened our hearts, sent out gifts, and accepted gifts. Our healing is ours, and we are grateful for it. And say with me, please, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you, all, everyone, for taking that time to be within, to be together, to be within, to be with God, to let go of anything that's permeating in you right now, to let go and release and know all is well. Oh, certainly. You don't want to see my neck? Is that better? Okay. It's time for our offertory. Could I have a couple of volunteers come up and help me with that? One. Let's do an offertory prayer, please. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Thank you for your gifting today. And those who are watching us on Zoom, I think everyone on Zoom today knows how to give and send the offertory to the PLC. I think, Misty, we probably have it in the information there. Good. It's in the information for those on Zoom. Thank you for your tithings as well. Thank you, dear. Oh. Do we have any announcements today? Do you want something to say? LJ? Want to come up here?
Okay. I just want to remind everyone that we are starting our class today. So if you have any interest at all, there's still room and you're welcome. So, and it's got my shirt. That's mine. We have, they look alike. Hope you can join.
Sometimes I can't find my own shirts, so I start wondering. Any other announcements? Come on up here if you have an announcement. No? What? Okay. I want to remind people too that back in the back room to my left, your left going out, there's a frog box back there, and it's for writing down prayers that you might want to have for us to pray on that all week. The practitioners and ministers pray on those all week long for you. So if you have a prayer request, you can fill those out and put them in the box, and I'll collect them after service each Sunday. So thank you for that. I'm gonna get back to any new people here today? Any new people? Okay.
Anybody who hasn't been here in a while?
Anyone who hasn't been here in a while? Good, welcome back. You found out we were open, huh? Yes, we are. Please spread the word. We are open again. I know a lot of people are still finding us and not realize that we are here. So that's wonderful. Okay. Who is next week's speaker? Would that be Reverend Kim? Reverend Ken Hayes is our speaker next week. All right, thank you. Let's do our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for joining me with that. Oh, Reverend Sandy, you come out and pray us out. Let me give her some more love, please.
Boy, I gotta tell you, I'm still way out there somewhere. That was a powerful healing for a stranger. Because I'm short. Oh. So as we go forward this week, we know there is only God. And we're carrying that within us. And it radiates out from us wherever we go, as Ken said, radiators. We are radiating constantly. And it is so important that as we do that, that we have our heart open and radiating too. For we want to radiate only the highest good, the highest potential, divine love, divine caring, all of those truths. The world is a better place because each of us is here. We are the gifting to this world. We are the Christmas present, the birthday present, whatever present is available. That is what we are, and that is what we bring, and that is what we share. And it gives such glorious thanks for being part of this magical family. And say with me, please. And so it is.
Patty, you want to play a little something?
Sure, we'll have a little gospel.
There we go. A little gospel.
Now Jesus is on the main line. Tell what you want. Jesus is on the main line. Tell what you want. Jesus is on the main line. Tell what you want. You can't come up and tell him what you want. My love is easy. Tell what you want. Oh, my love is easy. Tell what you want. And I love is easy. Just tell what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. And I'm looking sick. You want to get well. Tell him what you want. If I'm sick and I want to get well, tell him what you want. If I'm sick and I want to get well, just tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. My source is on the main line. Tell him what you want. Source is on the main line. Tell him what you want. The source is on the main line. Tell him what you want. You can call. Tell him what you want.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here today. I hope you come back and see us again next Sunday. Have a great week. Thank you for everyone in service today, for Brenda and for Kim and your ideas and thoughts to us and talking about their lives, which really touches mine as well. God bless you all. See you next week.
Anybody want to unmute and say goodbye? See you all next week. Thanks for coming. Wonderful service today. Brenda, great job. Great job. Kim, nice talk. And Patty, great music from what we could hear. Thank you. Thank you.